Hey everyone, I thought I would do a bit of an unscripted video this week. It's just really about what I've been thinking about and what I've been doing in January 2021. So yeah, I've started the YouTube journey and I've learned a lot about everything over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I started by using iMovie to edit my videos, and I was just using my iPhone 12 Pro Max for 4K 60 film, and that turned out really well. But I've been using and experimenting with loads and loads of different types of techniques over the last few weeks. So I immediately then downloaded and installed DaVinci Resolve and have watched a lot of YouTube videos about how to use that. So I'm slowly getting better at every video I do. I'm learning something new, I'm getting a bit quicker, so that's really good because it takes a long time to edit videos normally, especially since I have to do so many retakes because I don't know what I'm saying half the time. So that's been good. I've also switched out what cameras I'm using. So rather than just using the iPhone, I actually use to film on this video now, I'm using a Canon HX-A1, which back in 2007-2008 was the creme de la creme of video cameras. Not so much now because it still records to mini DV tapes, but it is an HD camera, so playing back the footage after I've plugged it into a FireWire to Thunderbolt cable and got it on my Mac, it's pretty good still. So I think surely a camera of this type is going to, in some sorts of scenes, produce a little bit better footage than just a phone camera. But the iPhone 12 Pro camera is really outstanding. It's amazing what has happened in 13 years. So another thing that I've been thinking about is the lighting in the network suite where I film most of my videos from. And the lighting's been a real pain to get right. What did I start doing? I started just with the overhead lights and I felt like they were really bearing down on top of my head. And I really hate that in any situation, especially when you go into something like a restaurant and you, like maybe Pizza Hut or Prezzo or one of these chain restaurants, and we will be able to do that again, I'm sure, I promise. I'm looking forward to the day we can do that again here in February 2021. That's just out of the question. But when we can do that again and you've booked a table, and I normally like to book like a booth because it's just a bit cozier. Normally a pre-theatre menu I also like to get because I like being as thrifty as possible. But back to the story, when you sit down and there's a big spotlight right above your head and a big spotlight right above what you're eating, you do feel like you're on stage and you've maybe had a pre-theatre menu, but you don't really expect to be in the theatre while you're eating your food. So I really hate the big garish spotlight shining down on your head. So I tried to soften that a bit. And something that I've just done for this week's video is create, I think you call it a light box. And I made it out of a shoebox. I lined a shoebox in tin foil and put a plastic bin bag over the top of it, a white one. And that's just really softening the light that is coming onto the side of my face. So I've learned that as well. I've learned to set the camera to the right Kelvin value for the lighting in the room so that the white balance is okay. I've learned about shutter speeds based on frame rates that I'm taking the video in. I've learned about the f-stop and how to create bokeh effects by adjusting the f-stop to let as much light into the camera as well. And with this Canon, it really is a semi-professional quality camera, so you can tailor absolutely everything. So with learning about the camera, learning about DaVinci Resolve, having to spend quite a lot of time learning about how to make good thumbnails, and I use a program called Canva to do that. There has just been so much to learn, and I really feel like I've achieved something. Although if you look back at my videos, I'm my biggest critic. I think the videos are terrible, but everybody else says they're good. They might just be trying to be polite, but in comparison to some of the other ones I watch, I just think that they really look amateurish. But when you start a YouTube channel, there's a lot more to learn than you might think. And especially since most people are now watching on 4K HDR televisions, you cannot make one mistake, or you notice it as you're doing the editing, but the viewer would also pick that up, and that's when the comments come alive and people will correct you on what you say in terms of the facts that you've used in the video, or how the video is filmed, or what equipment that you're using. So everything's out there, and I'm really enjoying any comments that I do get on my videos to make my future videos better. So I've really enjoyed it. Such a steep learning curve, but I'm going to try to keep making videos, although in reality it takes up at least one full working day. I would say probably about 7 or 8 hours per video. So that's a big time commitment that I'm not used to factoring into my week. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep using different types of cameras to see how things vary, how things look on a big 4K TV when I've just published a video and finally, after about 3 hours, YouTube has decided to let me view it in 4K down on the big living room TV. I'm going to see how it looks, and just basically every video is a huge learning curve for me. So I've really enjoyed it. I've got my lighting. I think that's going to be quite good for this video, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I've tried. And I hope that you keep watching. And thank you to everybody over this last month for sharing my videos, liking them. I've had so many comments from family, friends, work colleagues about how brave it is of me to do a YouTube channel, and yeah, I'm trying not to think about that too much. But also, the fact that they really like the content, but the content that I make is really up to you. So if you think that you've seen something in one of my previous videos that you would like to see more of, or me do an in-depth, a deep dive into that, then please let me know, because I'd really love to do one for you. Some videos are really hard to do, and some are relatively easy in comparison. But no matter what you ask for, I will always do my best to oblige. So thanks again, and if you've been liking what you've seen so far and maybe not subscribed at this point, I encourage you to do so, because with all my motivation I'm going to keep this up whether I like it or not. And it's really thanks to the support that I've had from everybody who's watched my videos in January. It's also been great to be able to look back myself personally at the videos I did in the 90s and the early 2000s and be able to share some of these with you as well. So, completely ad-lib video. I hope that you've enjoyed my little rant here about everything that I've learned in January, and I hope that you keep watching. Thank you very much. Now this camera doesn't have a remote control, so I'm just going to go closer to it and press stop.